Peace abundant. I have the best soul tribe here on YouTube. So let's get right into this video, okay? I'm so excited to bring you this content today. So I'm gonna start off with a very amazing quote that I love, and I'm gonna see if you guys know who says it. An amazing rapper once said, "Sometimes when you compromise yourself to please others, you slowly start to feel yourself dying on the inside." If you know who rapped that quote, go ahead and drop it below. So as you can see from the title, we're going to be talking about how I went from being in a cult, from being Christian, being Hebrew Israelite, to being a bruja. And now I'm just completely free, okay? I am so free. My mind is so free, and I'm so grateful. Like, I cannot be more ecstatic to live my life than this very moment right now. Okay, so number one, I grew up in a cult. So Christianity is kind of secondary for me, only because first, I grew up on abuse. So my egg donor basically was the cult leader, and I was not allowed to go to different family members' houses. I wasn't allowed to do anything, but she would sexually and physically abuse me, and she would have other men do that to me as well. So I grew up very confused. I grew up very lost, and I was always afraid because, like I said, she would always beat me. So I always lived in fear, like afraid to ask for snacks, afraid to ask to play with my friends. And on top of this, once I turned the age of 6, 7, she removed me from public school. So during those very important formative years where we're supposed to socialize and build our ego, because that's when the ego is really forming, when you're like 4 and 5 and 6. So I wasn't able to do that, but I was in her home, and it was just constant abuse, and it led me to be a very confused child. So on top of that, now when I'm entering into my teenager years, this is when the Christianity really began to hit me. Now, my whole family always said pray. You know, I always knew about God and Jesus, but as a child, I didn't really have the understanding. Now, when I was a teenager, this is when she would use God against me. So she would say, like, you know, God doesn't like that. That's a sin. And then I also, since I was sexually assaulted, I went through a phase where, you know, I thought I was gay. So she would be like, you know, she would just bash me and shame me. But again, this is all from trauma. When you're traumatized, you don't know anything. You don't even know what you sexually want because that was taken from you. So you can't even grow into your sexuality naturally. I realized the syncretism through everything. There's a syncretism through everything. And when you allow something to be, it's able to grow and develop. But when you are using religion, when you are using mind control, that traps people's willpowers. So I went from being in a cult, I was also Christian, but and then right before I got accepted to college and went away for college, college is what changed my life. I went away to college in 2017, and I lived on campus until 2023. So I'm newly like into this adult life, like full on adult now. I got about almost 2 years in being a full on adult. But I went through all these different stages, and while I was in college, I was practicing Hebrew Israelite, and that was again from my egg donor. So my egg donor, it was a cycle of abuse. I could not let her go despite the trauma, despite me losing my child, everything that she put me through. I could not let her go because again, that cult teaching, the stripping of your own willpower, of your own thoughts, the word respect. When someone is constantly growing up, that's all I would hear. Honor and obey your parents or your days will be numbered. Everyone will push this down my throat. It's very predatory, and it's gaslighting, because the etymology of respect means to observe and either be biased towards or biased against. When you're biased towards, that means you like the person. When you're biased against, it's like, no, I don't like what you did. So we have been programmed to have the understanding of a word without understanding this word for ourselves. Respect does not mean, because also the etymology of respectable is to be worthy. Like, you have been a respectable person, so now you deserve respect. You have to know what the words mean, because we've been programmed to just honor and obey and respect even when someone's abusing you. We have been programmed not to think for ourselves. Okay, if you see a fucking bear in the woods and it's chasing you, are you just going, I'm gonna honor and respect you, even though you want to tear me apart, I'm still gonna chase you? Like, it's stupidity. So I went from one thing to the next. And this was all under her. Hebrew Israelite was the last straw for me, and I'm so glad, because when I was in that religion, I felt it just wasn't resonating. I had complex PTSD. So for me, when you are so severely traumatized, you pick up on the micro cues of manipulation. That is this is why I speak to you guys, and this is why I love my life. I'm grateful for all my traumas, because it allowed me to have a microscopic view of people's behaviors, your body language. Oh, I can read energy so well. I'm an empath. So it's so easy for me to pick up. So being a Hebrew Israelite, right? I remember I always see, my thing is, I just had this faith and this belief. So that's how people can manipulate you. Knowing that there's something outside of you that's greater, but you may not know what it is. And then someone's telling you, in order to get to source, you have to come through me, like the pastors. That's a lie. Source is already in us. So instead of externalizing our power, we can go internally. We can do inner work and sit with ourselves and connect with source. We don't need a middleman to connect us to source. And I would feel like, as a Christian, first, let me go back a bit. As a Christian is when I shaved all my hair. In 2017, before I went to college, I did a big chop. I shaved all my hair off because it was my freedom. And I remember being in church, and like I said, it's very predatorial. This woman walked up to me and she was like, she gave me a scripture and she walked away. And the scripture said basically a woman is not supposed to do like what a man does, wear men's clothing. But she was referring to my shaved head, because I had on girl clothes, but I had a shaved head. So I'm like, wow, so much judgment. And then the pastor knew I was going away to college. He was like, oh, you're going to the world of the demons. And again, I found the syncretism of everything. The demon is in us. Everyone has a demon within you. It's up to you to control it. That's your lower nature. You are in control of your lower nature. You read in a scripture or somebody telling you you're going to burn in hell. That's not going to stop a person from having their emotional charges to the things they want to do. That's how we create our reality, through our thoughts and the emotional charges. So if you have this emotional charge to do something, but someone's telling you no, like when I was a Hebrew, I wanted to go and mingle and meet other Hebrew Israelites. And I got turned off when I asked someone, hey, can I come to your hall? They said the only way you can come is if you cover up your hair. It was like, you have to cover your hair. You have to wear a skirt. That turned me off, because I'm like, you can't tell me what to wear, what to do. I'm going to do and wear and say whatever I want, period. So I began to slowly, while I was in college, that's when I began to really depart from my egg donor, because the abuse just got worse mentally. She didn't physically abuse me anymore, but the mental abuse just continued on, and I couldn't take it anymore. I have little siblings, so I felt so stuck and I couldn't focus on my work. So I slowly started to depart from both Christianity. Well, I was already Hebrew at this point, but being a Hebrew and that connection with her, it was like a way, again, she's a cult leader. Okay, my siblings are in the same boat as me, honestly. They're not allowed to go outside. They're not allowed to talk to people. I can't even talk to them, okay? But by her being this cult leader and by me going to college, Hebrew Israelite was like another way for her to keep me connected to her, because now it was like we would practice the Sabbath while I was in college. And that's how it destroys your mind too, because reading my old diary, I was so judgmental of other people, so judgmental. I remember I was talking to a gay guy, and I was like, I wrote in my diary and said, he don't know who God is. And it's like, who are you to tell somebody else what to do? This is going to go into the next part of this, as far as the LGBT or anything. No matter what it is, we shouldn't push anything on children. But when a person is a grown adult, if that's what they want to do, that's their free fucking will choice. We can get into what happened. Like I said, my sexual assault, I did thought I was gay at one point. So that's a different story. But when you're a grown adult, you can do whatever you want to do, but it's not right to push it on children. It's not fair to rub it in their face and show them. Children should not see, same-sex people having sex, but they also shouldn't see gay people having sex either. Like, that's where I stand. I'm very neutral in the balance of the child's mind. A child mind needs to just be loved and guided, not shown, oh, look, you're 12 years old, but look, you can go get your whole body parts, taken off of you. No, let a child develop and learn life and let them make that choice on their own. Okay, that's the only thing I have to say about that. But now, in regards to everything else, while I was in college, I started to tap into learning about crystals. And then I still had this pull from religion, like, that's a sin, that's the devil. And then I'm like, you know, I need deeper healing. These things literally broke the fuck out of me. So I always searched for healing modalities. I was always on a look like, what can heal me? Because I know I'm broken. I know I'm hurt. I was suicidal. I would cry every night. This ain't right. Something ain't right. So I found that, okay, first it started with the yoni eggs. I never like used it, but I ordered it because it said, yeah, the eggs have this healing energy. So I would just sleep with them and just, and that, you want to know what happens with crystals and sage and all these different things. Here's the syncretism. Whether you're Christian, whether you're Hebrew, whether you're into crystals, no matter what you're into, all you're doing is giving your mind the permission to allow yourself to feel confident in your own fucking choice. That's all it did for me. So when I entered into the crystal stage, and then I had got oracle cards. I would do oracle all last summer. I would do oracle cards all the time on live. I would have sessions with people. Like, it was really fun. Like, I had so much fun because I was breaking down the barriers of, this is a sin, you're not allowed to do this, you're a sinner, you're going to hell. I felt free. And I would let y'all know, listen, I'm Bruja, okay? I'm Bruja gang, okay? But and then it's like, now fast forward, that was last summer. Then like all this year, all I've been doing is like traveling and going to different business events and just being around millionaires and having this experience with higher spiritual people who have the finances, because money is just spiritual. Money is a part of us. Knowing these things and seeing how, okay, there are billionaires who believe in God and there are billionaires who don't. It doesn't matter. It's about what the fuck you believe in. No one outside of you can come and say, you don't believe in God, so you're going to go burn in hell. You're judging, because doesn't the Bible say that before you take a beam out your eye, put it back into yourself? Just like someone else doing something triggers you. Like I told you, me writing in my diary, oh, he doesn't know who he is. I didn't even know who I was. Who am I to judge him? I'm writing in a diary thinking I'm holier than thou. You don't know who Yahuwah Elohim is. You don't know him. You don't know you living in sin. And here I am crying every night. Here I am, I'm still with a fucking heroin addict, because that's another part of my story. I'll tell y'all that another time. Here I am, yes, my life was progressing good because I was in school. That was the unit. I was aligning with myself because I had the belief that God was saving me. I said I'm chosen, so God protects me. That was just a belief for me to align with that reality because I felt it. But while you're still having these beliefs and going into your desired reality, there are things you still have to shake off of you. I still had to shake off my depression, my anxiety. So how can you judge another person when when ain't nobody around you and you by yourself, you dealing with some crazy thoughts? That was me. How can you judge another when your life is not up to where you want to be? So I say all that to say this, that now I'm just free because now I've seen the syncretisms. The syncretisms is all the law of the universe. The universe works off of the Hermetic principles, right? Which is mentalism, which is the law of vibration, the law of correspondence, the law of gender, the law of polarity, the law of cause and effect. I'll put it up here though. But I realized that everything is working off of universal law. You are what you say you are. If you say you're a sinner and you're filthy, a filthy rag, and you don't deserve nothing, you're worthy of death, then like you're going to continue to see experiences that is just only confirming that you're right. You're not worthy. But now when you start to say, I'm lit, I deserve everything that I have. Everything that we have in life is all from our subconscious beliefs. Your subconscious is entangled with your ego. Okay, I say your inner child is your subconscious. When you heal your inner child, you heal the subconscious. Your inner child was programmed during your formative years. So if your inner child is having trauma responses and feeling guilty, okay, in a lower vibration, constantly in shame and lack and fear, your subconscious is promoting these beliefs and sending it up to your conscious mind. So you're consciously like, this person's out to get me, or you're going to leave me, you're going to abandon me. Like, it's a ruminating cycle of fucking trauma. So I'm here to free someone. I have the best soul family. So if this resonated with you, go ahead and trust yourself. No one can connect you to source. You are source. Source is in you. You don't need a middleman. You don't need to go sit somewhere just to prove to other people's egos that, look, I'm this Christian religious person. Okay, we all human here. You can walk around and act like you're holier than thou, but you still have those thoughts in your mind that you don't even tell people. So that's right there. That's how you truly elevate from all this stuff, to realize we're all human, bro. God did not, the universe, the goddess, okay, I say goddess because I'm a female. Goddess didn't give me these urges and these the creative energies just to be, oh, demonize you. You a demon, you're evil. No, it's your life experience. You are an experience. Now, like I said, I'm so grateful to make this video. Peace, love, and light to you. Have a beautiful day. Drop a comment below, and I'll be back abundant, okay? I love you so much. Deuces.